Okay, I'm gonna just get to the conclusion because I think we all know what my conclusion is gonna be here. If I'm being perfectly honest, I don't think you guys are expecting a different conclusion out of me today. Um, it is becoming ridiculously clear that this is a glorious balance patch. We know this. We at this point we know this, but every step of the way it becomes more and more clear. The big changes that came to Playtest 5, because at least then we still had big changes, are just getting kicked to the curve. I'm like, here's the thing. I heard this at a certain point in time. I think they said this at a certain point in time where it was like Crawford said, "Oh, the individual features score like 80%, but then the sum of the class scores like below that, scores like 70%, and that didn't make sense to them at some point." No offense, the individual features of this bundle, I've had to say a bunch of time they were good. I like what they did to the level, the whatchamacallem, the savant features for wizards. I don't think the subclass features are bad. You don't expect to get much as a wizard. It's one of the reasons that I think blade singing is broken. Like, I think the patron spells now becoming, spells from warlock. I think that's good. I think their subclasses are okay. Sure, I don't think wild magic should have necessarily be in the player's handbook in its current state, but I can live with that one. Okay, I think that the remaining rage or whatever it's called from barbarian should honestly not, like, I think persistent rage shouldn't necessarily be 10 minutes. I think that can be far longer. Right? I think like the bear feature for Rage of the Wild should be changed. I actually like Path of the World Tree as a subclass. Like, I don't have much to say about the individual features. They are, most of them are understandable. Most of them are pretty decent. I'd have to play test them to really see whether or not they are valuable, powerful, overpowered, or whatever. But the grand scheme of this bundle has the same problem that I have had with One D&D since the beginning. I do not like it. Because this is just a balance patch, and we all know that we're going to be paying, if we pay for this, which I'm not guaranteeing, if we pay for this, we are paying $60 for a balance patch. And not only that, but we all know that at some point we're going to get a Xanathar's 2.0, we're going to get a Tasha's 2.0, we're going to get all of these different books that are going to contain the reworked versions of a bunch of subclasses that we had in other books, because sure, you might have put a couple of Tasha's subclasses in here, even though you were apparently too lazy to fucking put Aberrant and Clockwork Sorcerer into this fucking bundle. Like, even if you, like, we all know that even if you're moving a couple of them, you are going to make books with some of the old subclasses. Bladesinger is going to get a subclass. We all know that. At a certain point in time, you are going to put blade singing into a book. You're not going to do it immediately. I'm going to hate you for it, because you're going to make the argument, oh, but you can just pick the blade singer from la-di-da-di-da-di-da, from Tasha's, from the original book. But we all know that's going to happen. You're just going to make glorified new subclasses out of the old ones, nerf them a little bit, buff them a little bit, and they're going to give them to us bit by bit, maybe book by book. I don't fucking know. But the entire point of this is still going to be, this is a glorified balance patch that we are going to be paying for. And we're going to be paying full price for. This is not worth full price to me. I'm sorry, I don't have as big of an issue with a Barbarian or a Sorcerer being in the game. I've always fought with the idea of anything you can do, I can do better. I'm the DM. I can do whatever the fuck I want. If you want to fight, if you want to open up the floodgates of a Sorcerer, you are just teaching me how to build a Sorcerer. I can make a Sorcerer. I can give him a free belt of Storm Giant Strength. I can give him 22 Charisma if I want, and you will die. And that might seem like cruel, and that might seem like bad DMing, but the point still stands. You can challenge your players in a lot of ways. Do I ban stuff at my table? Fuck yes. Of course I do, but the idea still stands. And to me, this is not worth buying new books over. This does not excite me for the next version of D&D. Some things in the old, like scribing spells and creating and whatever spells for wizards, for me, I said that I was okay with them removing it, right? And I am okay with them getting rid of create spell in whatever the other feature was that they got rid of for wizard, right? I'm okay with that. I actually get it. It is literally, especially on wizard, probably one of the hardest features to balance. Like, modify create spell are probably two of the hardest features in wizards, in the wizard class to balance, because you need to make sure that it works with every single spell in the game. If you let Wish be ritual cast at level 17, you are going to break the game. End of discussion. Right? I get it. But this was still one of the only things that I was extremely excited about when it came out. And people need to understand that. To me, this... I don't even know how to explain it at this point. I think I've made my point, right? I think this is the short version of it. Is 1D&D going to be a superior version to 5th edition? Yes. I think in the long run, this might legitimately be a healthier edition. I have no idea what the fuck they're gonna do with Monk. I will say this, I think Revision 7 is a better revision than 6. Hands down. There is a little part of me that thinks that 1D&D might be a better version of 5th edition. But it's not worth it to me. It's not. I'm sorry. This little thing doesn't do it for me. And if it does do it for you, hey, more power to you. But you're not in this video, so your opinion doesn't matter for 3 seconds. And my opinion is, this entire experiment has felt like a huge forking waste of time. And I think that's kind of sad. So I think the final conclusion here is I think most of the changes are pretty good. But my problem with One D&D stands. And I don't know if that is going to change anytime soon. But anyway, on that depressed note, I hope you guys enjoyed. And I will see you all next time. Bye, guys.